Okay, so tonight's big matchup, as you just heard, it's Elizabeth Warren versus Bernie Sanders, and tomorrow's big matchup is Joe Biden versus Kamala Harris. Remember, those two went at it at the first debate, but Quinnipiac polling showing Biden rising, Harris falling. But here's the question all of them are missing. It's not just who is best to take on Trump. Voters are now asking this: which candidate best reflects what I think? Joining me now, Arizona Congresswoman Debbie Lesko. Great to see you, Congresswoman.
Thanks for having me.
That's really the question. Which candidate reflects what voters want and think, right?
Well, I think it's President Trump myself. So he's not going to be on the stage tonight because the Democrats are all way too liberal, if you ask me.
You know, it's after tonight you're going to say goodbye to these 2020 Democrats. You're probably going to say goodbye to Cory Booker, Klobuchar, Galbraith, Gillibrand, and more. But, Congresswoman, here's a little-known fact. This is what has been happening with Democrat frontrunner since 1970. This is really astonishing. They're going to have a hard time. This is what we found going on since 1969, since 1970. Maybe the party has been picking the wrong candidate. Democrats tend to chew up and spit out their frontrunners because of all the Democrat hopefuls over the past 50 years. Only 3 nominees, Walter Mondale, Al Gore, and Hillary Clinton, actually leading in the polls a year ahead of the convention. None of them went on to win the presidency. What's going on with the party?
I don't know what's going on with the Democrat Party, but I think they're falling apart and they're going way too far left. The American people do not agree with their liberal and radical policies. And we saw that in the first debate when they all raised their hands saying they want to give health care to illegals. I mean, for goodness sakes, we have homeless people here in America. We have people in need. Let's help our U.S. citizens first. And that's when President Trump, I think, tweeted, well, I won the whole election just from that raising the hands. And that's why CNN tonight will not be doing any raising of the hands, and they're probably smart about that.
You know, that's right, because then you can't clip that shot and use it in an RNC GOP ad. To your point, we know NPR Marist, we're going to dig into all these polls. Americans told, the majority of Americans don't want what you said, you know, health care coverage for illegals. Your thoughts now, let's switch gears. Montana Republican Senator Stephen Daines just introduced a resolution saying no, formally condemning socialism, that U.S. will never become a socialist country. Congresswoman, it's come to that. You need a resolution?
Well, I think it's smart. I think it's smart. Not only do we agree with our current against socialism, we did something similar on motion to recommit in the House as well. But I think that's what this whole 2020 election is going to be about, quite frankly, and that is freedom versus socialism. And I think we just need to keep saying that over and over and again, because I'm there. I'm the boots on the ground in Congress, and some of these Democrats are so radical. They call themselves socialists. This is not what America wants, and we need to point out what the Democrats are doing, what they will do to our country if we let them win. And I tell you what, it's not the America we want.
To your point, all right, let's switch gears. We now are tallying. We're seeing 107 House Democrats do support impeachment. Today, Senator Charles Schumer just said this afternoon he agrees with Nancy Pelosi. Senator Schumer, Congresswoman, is getting pressure from the 3rd and 4th ranking Senate Democrats, Senators Patty Murray and Debbie Stabenow. They want a Senate inquiry into impeachment. Chuck Schumer says no. Your reaction to that?
Well, I think Nancy Pelosi is politically savvy, and so she's smart. Now, I'm on the Judiciary Committee, and that is one crazy committee where, you know, Democrat Chairman Jerry Nadler keeps pushing for impeachment. I mean, he's subpoenaing everybody that Trump knows or doing contempt of Congress. It's really ridiculous.
But let me stay on that, Congresswoman. I want to ask you, is anything new coming up from all these probes? And finally, he says your committee is in the middle of an inquiry, and meaning that a vote could come on impeachment. That's how Nadler is speaking. Can you give us a reality check on what is really going on there?
You know, I was there when Mueller testified, and nothing new came out of this, and it really was a failure last week for the Democrats. And if they don't know it, they're in bad shape, because it was a total failure. I mean, I watched different news stations all over,
I'm sorry to interrupt.
different channels, and they lost.
Is Jerry Nadler, is that just rhetoric out of Jerry Nadler? Is what he's saying not true, that it's not, they're not in the middle of a, quote, inquiry? Is what he's saying, Jerry Nadler, is that not true? You sit on House Judiciary. What's going on?
Jerry Nadler is obsessed with taking out Donald Trump, and all this is about is a constant drumbeat in order to influence the 2020 election. Okay. That's what this is about, and the American people need to know it.
So no inquiry, is that correct? There is no ongoing judiciary inquiry, right? Because that's what he said is happening.
Well, if he calls it, he can call it an inquiry if he wants, but he keeps doing hearings and subpoenas and contempt of Congress. I mean, I don't know what he considers an inquiry, but he is totally obsessed with taking out the President of the United States. He's obsessed over it.
Congresswoman Lesko, thank you so much. Appreciate it.